Well, this one's a bit different, people. Most people, if they're, say, tench fishing, I think dawn. Dawn is the best time. You've got to get out at dawn, especially in the summer. That sort of June time, July, get out at dawn. Okay, a bit of trouble getting out at dawn. When I was working full time, which was 38 plus years, I could only do evenings after work. That's all. I'll come in here because the wind's blowing. I can only do evening after work, so I'm going to give this a punt. Where I am, Lovelynch Lake, which is a day ticket, small lake, very small lake, down here in Somerset, run by Mike Oxman, and I don't know, 12, 13 pegs. I'm on unlucky 13. I'm just going to give it an evening and fish like we used to years ago until we can't see the float, or in my case, maybe the feeder. It also gives me a chance here, because I've got a few carp in there, of trying the different type of floater floats, as it were, that enable you to cast farther and pick up the odd carp. So I'm looking for a tench, maybe. I'm going to pile some ground bait in, some sweet corn in, and fingers crossed I can get some bread out without getting the geese flocking to me. I dare say they will. And I'll try these floats, we'll run through them. So there's the lake. I'm in between sort of 12 and 13 the pegs. I've just seen a fish move over there, cruising. There's a tree falling in the water there, and it's got to be worth a shout off the end of that. I don't want to cast right up against it. Hook a fish, it's in it, you know, on the bottom gear. So I want to be able to cast past the end. I'll show you. You're going to get wind in a mic, can't help that. Unfortunately, it's blowing right in my face, so I'm aiming to go straight down off there. So bait I've got sweet corn, which I hope is thawed out, some ground bait and some bread. That's it. No maggots, nothing else. Bread, I tell no lies. Bit of ground bait. That's got some cell pellets in there. Don't know why. I think it's more to give. I wanted to give the ground bait a bit of a smell. So let's get this damped up, get it straight out, because I don't have a lot of time. I want to get 4 or 5 hours in. Don't want to make it too wet. Get it up there. Now, again, going old school, what we used to do, we rarely use swim feeders. We would bait up relatively heavily with loose feed and a bit of ground bait, and just fish a link ledger over the top. And do you know what? I think I'm going to go old school and see if that'll work. So we're going to get some corn in there as well. I've got to make sure it's thawed out though. This has been in a cool box, that's the problem. I've got a feeling there's ice in it, so I've got to check it first, see if it floats. No, it does actually sink, but I'm still going to soak it. Just enough for hook bait and stuff. Keep it in the sun. Let that thaw out. Yeah, it feels very cold. Right, let's get some in. I've got about 6 or 8 balls I'm going to just chuck out, sort of willy-nilly to be honest. Well, you can see the wind's playing up. Can't get the float right out there. It keeps casting off a little rubber sleeve, you know, where you can add an adapter to change the floats. That's not worked out. The umbrella's got to be here for the sound. I have got a ledge of sweet corn out here on a bobbin. It's DS, quack quack, doo doo everywhere. What's a broom or something, sweep it in the water. I've catapulted some bread out there, and it seems to have come up. I've seen 1 or 2 bits go, so it might not be I get the tench, but there's a good chance I could get a carp off the top. It just needs this wind to die down, which has really been quite annoying, well, all summer. First float I'm going to be using, I'll show you the others in a minute. This one I found really good. Not selling them, you know me, we're not selling them. But it's made a huge difference to me last year on a session here. Indeed, I will be using it again. Well, 100% a piece of crust, or you get a piece of the edge. Now this is just cheap bread, don't get me wrong, it's not the world's best bread. If you want really good bread for floater fishing, you want to get, you know, a tin loaf they call it. You know, it's done in a tin, so it's crust all around the outside. But I get this and I fold it so the crust's on the inside, not for long distance, but this will help. I get my hook, which in this case I think is about a size 10, something like that, barbless. You want to use bigger wherever you are, different rules, different regs. And I just push it at an angle. What I'm hoping is the float will come first and the crust will come behind it. I don't want the crust up against the float with the drift. That's my problem, you know, that is what you get when you get the wind. You want really to be on the far bank and the wind will push behind you and push the crust away from the float and basically straighten everything out. If you are just using slice spread like this, what I find is best, obviously you want the crusts, peel off the crusts like this, just peel the edges off, and then you've got those as a sort of fallback, haven't you? It's not a major session, it's just a few hours in the evening. I might get lucky. And then I can break these up for loose feed. Horrible bread, I have to say. Very, very sticky. Not the best. I'm looking at this bobbing because I've got to go back to the car and get my bite alarms. Otherwise I'm going to be doing this all the time. Now you can catapult that on its own, or better still, put it in, land in it, dip it once. Let's get that bit up, don't waste anything. Dip it once to get it damp, and then you can catapult it out. Another tip, I've done this many times. If you use, I haven't got it here, a soft catapult like you use for catapulting out boilies, that sort of thing, as you pull it like this, it compresses and you'll find the bread sticks in the cup. So you want to get yourself a rigid cup ground bait catapult like this for balls of ground bait. This is a really old one, and that way when I got it, it's got a leather pouch to it. When you can pull down as hard as you want, and only the outside there, as you can see, compresses. I can't catapult it at the moment because I'm just over there watching me. We'll let them get round out of sight, and then hopefully I can get some out. They see everything. 8 or 10 pieces out there. Actually there's one in close. I've just seen the swirl come in close there. Never neglect margins, honestly. I mean, I can't, you know, put them in close, too close here, because the wind's blowing it on the shore. I'll be continually dipping it out all the time. Just drop one close in, chill out. I don't do any casting until I see one of these pieces of floating crust go. So I don't even waste my time, you know, because I've got like 10 pieces of crust out there. We'll put another one out there, 11 pieces. What chance have I got? But if I can see where they're taking, I can actually cast to a fish, maybe just ease it and draw it in front of their nose, and that's when I should get a take. Here, I don't know. I don't know if I'm even going to get the float out there with this wind picking up. I hadn't allowed for that. I put a big waggler float on over here. 3 888 shot it takes. I'm clear at the top for getting out, but it still doesn't want to go out. I need some more line on the reel, to be honest. The last 3 bits I've tied on top of each other, and the knots tend to catch. Tons of rudd in here. That's why I put all that ground bait in the first time. Loads and loads of rudd. So most of that ground bait will be going, but they can't get all the grains of corn. It's harder and it's very often too big. If you do get a rudd, it'll be a decent one, but there's plague proportions of small rudd in there, so you've got to allow for them eating through any fine ground bait you put out there. Well, that's been one that's just cruising around in there. I figure it's worth a throw. Oh, this one's right in front of me. That spooked him. He's looking at it. It's a nice sized fish just down here. Oh, there's one, there's one, there's one. Right round here. Oh, just twist that round, you might get a take on this. Now I'm going to look away and probably miss it, but turn that around. Oh, I could hear that one. Right in close. The thing is, if you see the crust, when you're freelining close in the margins, you obviously watch the mouth close of the fish as it goes down. You can strike. If you do that with the float, you're going to miss a lot. and because you're striking with the float and not just a bare hook, the splash of the float coming back can set them alight, and you know, they get really touchy and spooky. So I find best way 100% is, no matter how much end nosing it and swirling at it, do not strike until that little pip of the float goes under, because you're going to spook fish. You might as well strike once and get one fish, and of course we all miss fish, of course you do, especially floater fishing. Oh, there's one coming, there's one coming, I'm just tightening. He's going to be looking at it right now. Oh man, he went right under it. Will he turn around? Don't get me wrong, these are fish for, so they're not stupid, you know. Not as stupid as me, sort of semi-stupid. As this sun goes down, my chances will go up in the last hour and a half of light at this time of year. That's my take on it. Nothing on the sweet corn as yet. You see the wind is pushing me in all the time. Sort of not great. I can't help it, that's the way the wind's blowing. Over there, lovely, it would be blowing away, but I just can't cast to where near this fallen branches. I'm on guys. It just drifted around in here. I heard a slurp, looked up, the float went, as I said, and I just struck. I thought I'd missed it, but I'm lucky. Be nice to get that first fish out of the way. Move that down a bit. Looks like a common carp. Just get the net, it's only 4 fields away. On the map. So here looks a nice golden oldie. Another crazy common. Like that. That's got to put a smile on your face. Hasn't put a smile on his face. Got a weird eye. I've got to show you this eye. Eye. Looks like jet. I've never seen one like that before. He's known as Black Eye. Oh, I'm going to call him Patch. Captain Patch. I wonder what he sees through that actually. I did hear some slurping going on this corner here. So I've thrown some more bread out. And as usually happens, as soon as you put a bit more bread on the surface here, they disappear. I think the bread had come in here, circulated, and drift down in that corner there. So I see one fish coming very, very close. I don't think they can see me here, even though the sun's behind me. There's so many tree shadows here. Got bread over the back there. I've just got to throw some more out, I think, and just listen, as it were. I think I'm going to whiz this one right out there, as far as I can get it. Oh, you might not be able to see it with that lens, but if I get the other camera, it is actually pretty close in there to the corner. It seems to be over that corner. Oh, there's a big one. Well, I've got a hook up, strangely, out in the open water there. I just saw some carp swirling. There we go, nice mirror carp. I don't know, 6 poundish, something like that, at the 6s. Nice looking fish. And very dark in here they seem to be. So 2 carp, no tench. And it's just an evening session. Well, I've got to put the camera under here because it's just howling now, the wind. Right in my face, I'll show you over there. pretty useless for fishing, other than really this bay. It's pretty useful for filming actually, but I thought I'd take this opportunity just to show you these other floats. So this is a really large one, almost like people use this for pike, but if you want to cast a long way with a float, you can definitely do it with this one. And you can see the weight is in the bottom, the integral weight. It's battered and clattered. It's got a little swivel right there at the bottom, so you can fish it as a normal waggler, you know, rubber float stop either side like that. And you can fish it and wait for the fish to pull, but that's quite a lot. That's, what's that, 1.5 inches to go under, you know, before you can actually strike. This one is a bit shorter. Can you see that the distance there, almost half, and that's got a swivel at the top like the previous one I had. Integral weight there, looks like a brass weight there, so that's by the top, fixed by the top. That one's fixed by the bottom, and obviously by the time it's there, you got, measure my finger, a little bit over an inch, about 1.25 inches to go under. That's fine. If you don't have to cast so far, you can use one of these. I think this might be an American one I picked up. It's got a spring at the top there, which you push down, and you slot your line in through there, and then when you release it, just here, it pinches the line in there, so you can easily move it up and down without fracturing your line. But of course, the other thing is it doesn't give you that much weight to cast. So the one I do like is the one I've been using, which is bullet shaped, casts well, just got to watch it don't go up a tree. But either way, any of these three might actually get you a fish over and above 3 lining with a single hook in the margins. So if you want a bit of extra distance, you might have to go to controllers. There was one right around my float there. Well, there's a couple of good fish over that back area. Look at that one, that's a good fish. I'm going to have to wind in. Hang on, there's another one there. He was just down there. I might have spooked him moving the float, but... Oh, there's one. Okay, let's just wait, let's just wait, let's just wait. Just down there. Has he seen it? Well, he went right past it and looked at a leaf instead. There's no justice. Guys, I think I've got a tench on. I'm not sure. The float's just gone. I'm losing line. I don't know what it is. It'd be lovely if it was a tench. I literally just rebaited and cast out. I had a rudd. I put 2 grains of corn on, so I'm pretty sure I had a rudd. That's a rudd. I want to see it. I think it might be a carp. Sort of unfortunate, but you never know. Might get lucky, might be a tench. Where it's travelling, I think it's a carp. Oh, it's holding this right over. Wow, it doesn't feel like a tench fight, if there is such a thing. I've gone all quiet because I'm staring through the water now. It's pretty sure it's a carp. Let's get this other line out of the way. It was just as I cast out, so I'm fairly sure it was probably a carp's just taking it on the drop as it's sinking. Normally by now a tench would have boiled on the top. Right, I'm going to bing this off and get back to you when I see what the fish is. There we go. They're all good old looking fish, aren't they? Don't know what it goes, 7-8 pounds. Be pleased to catch a tench that big. Hook in the finger, that's quite good. Let's get him back. Wait a minute, goodness me. He's got tangled up in the net. And he's gone. Well, at least it shows his fish out on the bed of sweet corn. Well, a brief update. I'm missing more than I'm getting on the float, which I'm imagining are those small rudd. Even with double sweet corn, I'm getting bites I'm missing. Carp have gone a little bit quiet on the top, but I've had 3, no tench. Cool, I've got to go back to the car. I've got to get my food for a cook up, and I've got to get a jumper. Might even have to get a jacket. You wouldn't think it would be a summer, would you, this cool, but it is. I'm stuffed on the outside swim where I bathed at the start. I've had to come in because this goddamn wind will not lay down. So I now can't quite, I can reach it with the waggler, but the time it sets and I get a few rub bites, it's pulled it back downwind. So I've had to come a lot closer in. However, that carp on the float took in there, so chances are there might be a tench coming in as well. It's not a bad depth, it's about 4 foot 6, 5 foot, I think. So that's where we're at. Bit more ground bait and sweet corn going in, and then I'll have din-dins. Well, suddenly hit me with a crash. You guys don't know it, but I've been driving 2 3/4, 3 hours. Did a chub fishing film all day in Somerset. Got back in the car and drove, and I'm still fishing at another venue. But we're going to have a cook up, just going to have a break. You just suddenly go, and I'm sleeping in the car tonight because I've got a tackle shop interview. Not a tackle shop, wholesalers. Might be some interesting tackle stuff in there. Interview tomorrow, possibly some wrasse fishing. So I'm just going to have a bit of chill out time, something to eat. Recharge both my batteries and the camera batteries. And of course, a can of San Miguel. Just to wash it down. The haute cuisine, shall we say, for the fine dining tonight, gentlemen, is spag bowl, nothing different there, with some Jersey new cooked potatoes in there to warm up. I'm fishing in the trees there, I'm totally in the shade, so it's really cool, that awful wind blowing. So I've actually come around in the sunshine. So we just let this all heat up, have something to eat, and go for the evening session. I'd like to see if I could get a tench, just a nice tench. 3 nice carp, but I'd like to see if I get a tench. It's just a, evening session. It was what we used to do years ago. Beautiful blue sky, don't get me wrong, but the wind right in your face is really annoying. They just do scalding or stone cold. There's no in between, is there, with these little gas stoves? Oh, cold beer. Warmth of the sunshine. Oh, fingers crossed. Well, I've got 3 carp. I'm going to stick my neck out and say I should get another 2 at least. I'm on again. Been a while. It's just a random take in the middle of nowhere. Just to put the icing on the cake, I actually broke one of my old Avon rods. Struck, got it in a tree, struck, a rod came back and hit that tree there and snapped about a foot off it. So I have to try and repair it. come on. I think this one must be a better fish. Can't do much with it. I've lost my best controller float. I'm hoping it can have drifted around the margins. Oh, I've got a giant one on. Oh, this must be a better fish. The wind is so annoying. Oh dear. Again. I've left a load of bread in there. I've left a load of bread soaking in the land and I forgot about it. All the bread that's in there, I forgot to throw it in. Old common carp, I look at it. Probably about £8. They look old fish to me anyway. Look at that bread in there. It's gone. Wow. Don't let the ducks see that lot. There's some carp, just a couple of carp just over in that bay. They're driving me nuts and I can't cast them there across there without getting snagged. I think I might just be able to fish around that bank, but I've taken the float off, packed my other gear up, pulled them in, you know, the rods. And I've got to walk around and see if there's a hole I can poke through there. And I'm free lining this time, so there's a hook and nothing else. And a bit of bread. Just worth a shout because it's, I've got the polarising glasses off, but I still fancy a go at it. It looks like there's somebody's obviously fished here. Oh, 100%. Let's just have a look, because this is... Yeah, I think somebody has fished here actually. Somebody likes Thatcher's gold. You think they'd take it with them, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you just? I'll take it out, don't worry. So these fish, they've just been in here, so I'm going to give them a bit of bread and just see if they do come up, because you can see where I'm fishing over there. I'm sort of casting into the jungle, whereas if I can get into the jungle itself, great big fallen tree here, and they start coming up, because I'm on the 15-minute warning now. Sunset definitely gone. That's strange. Probably I'll come around this side and the carp will go that side. That's a splash I heard there. If I hold the camera up there, I might stand on that, you can see all the rudd, tiny rudd knocking that bread around. Now very often you'll come around this way from over there, the carp will know that and they'll clear off somewhere else. Would like to try and get one free lining because there's just a hook and nothing else. I know they can see that float, they're spooked by the float now. Well, I'll switch off until such time as I see some carp. Well, I've been about 10 minutes, guys, it's hard to believe. Nothing's shown. I think what I'm going to do is go around, pack all my gear up and walk it back round here. I just put my gear in the middle there and just have one rod and have a look. A last minute sort of shout. Packing up. And unfortunately the geese came round and they bullied me on the bread and I'm nearly out. Look at this tree that's come down there. Absolutely blown straight over. Hard to believe how much it takes to get one of these over and how little root there is underneath holding it all. There's a bit of it there, I guess. Not a particularly giant tree, is it? Look, who knows what that one is? Answers in the comments page. Well, I've thrown the last of the bread out, some here, some around there. I feel the dicky birds are going to find it. Can't really, it's gone very, very still now. Now it's perfect for float fishing, but no bubbles, no rudd on the surface. And this is what's happening. I find it most peculiar in a lot of waters now. At least you can see, fishing in the evening, in the summer, right till the last minute. I could go on for another 20 minutes, half an hour, I'd say. For float fishing I would do, but there's nothing going, so I'll make do with those carp. Grateful to catch those. Snapped my rod, nearly snapped the other one then, treading on it. So I've got rod repairs to do. We'll see you in the next show. Fingers crossed we get a bit of action. And what a setting this is. Lovelynch Lake. Only small, but some good tench, carp, and Lord and Ode knows how many tiny rudd in there. I just heard some slurping noises in here. Hopefully I can get in there. Well, I've got one piece of crust down there. I can't quite see it, but I've got my fingers across the line there, so I feel it if there's a pull. And I'll pull straight away this direction. I can't throw any more bread in, because the ducks will be on it. I can see the bread now. And there was one right in there, slurping away. Oh well, at least I tried. Last cast again. I'm on, guys, I'm on. Hitting hold, hitting hold. I knew there's one under there. It's going. Oh, he's going, he's going, he's going. He's right under the tree roots. I was so pleased. That's one the Canadians won't get. That's a common. Right. That time. Oh, I don't want to go in, that's for certain. Oh, something grubby. Oh, I missed him. Panicking, panicking, panicking. Panicking, Mr. Mandarin. Where the hell is he? Crikey. Oh, I'm about to break a second rod. I should shorten him up. Oh. He's in. He's out. Oh no, what an epic. Okay. Let's lock him up now. Surely. Oh, well, that is embarrassing. Look at the rod, that's been double. It's because he's near a snag, he wants to get in it. Jesus wept. He's in. There we go. Let's get him on the mat. Well, no wonder he put up a good fight. Look at the size of it. It's a lot bigger in that snaggy area than I thought, to be honest. One quick lift. There we go. A bonus one. I don't know who was more shocked there, me or the fish. Right, I really am done now. Almost done. I was well and truly done, but not too done to forget that you guys want something else to keep you entertained. How about an interview on something different? It's my random section. What about the invading Asian hornet?
Hello. Hi. You definitely know about these. Well, you don't have to eat the honey, you can leave the bees. Or you can just carry on giving it good garden talk lectures.
Morning.
Morning. We'll have live bees back here in about half an hour.
These are learning curves, and that's it.
Oh, it's all right, they're well contained.
Am I okay going in there filming that?
Oh, do
Yeah,
please.
sure,
Do you want
yeah.
me in it as well? I've got a good side about
Unless you guys want to talk about the hornets, because
Yeah.
we do a fishing show, and I was at another show yesterday,
Yeah.
and doing it, and they were big on the Asian hornets. Yeah, yeah.
Good.
So do you want to just tell us about it?
Yes.
Could I get you to say standing with your honey in the background? Or over
Well,
there.
it's been Asian Hornet Week, so there's been a lot of stuff on the TV.
Oh, these are the it was on TV the other night, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, which
Yep.
is good.
Yeah.
So we really are trying hard to raise awareness for the Asian hornet, which I'm sure you've read about in the papers, heard about it on the local television. The main thing is
ID,
that's
isn't it? It's the
our
ID.
native. That's
Yes,
the
yes.
European hornet. There is nothing wrong with him. We like him. He's a pollinator and he's part of our eco
Do
system.
you remember they don't sting those, or they do sting?
They'll definitely sting.
Oh, they do. Or is
Yeah.
it the bumblebee I'm getting mixed
It's
up
the
with?
bumblebee will also sting, but the
It's
men
not
don't
aggressive.
sting.
It's
the
that's it,
men
yeah,
don't sting. That's right. But what we're trying to do is raise awareness for people to keep their eyes open for this little chap.
Oh, so it's not actually bigger than the European?
No.
I thought it was a really big thing, you know?
This is what people don't quite understand as yet. Should I be able to pick this one up? You can see the difference. It's mainly black,
More waspy looking somehow, isn't
much waspy, orange face. The most
Orange
important
face, yeah.
identifying are these yellow legs,
it? I've got you, yes, yeah.
which is why we call them now the Asian yellow-legged hornet.
Yeah,
And
do you
these
want
are the
to
chaps
put
that
your smartphone?
we're hoping everybody will download
yeah.
on their smartphone
not computer
the
literate.
Asian hornet
To
app
ID them, yeah. Yeah.
to ID them.
Because it
And
doesn't
also
matter if
you can then
it
take
very
a
well
photograph
from this one
and
has
that
got,
will immediately go to the
pictures on it. The
MBU,
ones
the
that are
National Bee
similar
Unit, who will either verify
but
it
aren't
and
the
come and
Asian
deal with
hornet.
it, or they will say, no, it's a wood
A
wasp.
European,
or,
or, yes, yes, yes. Because the wood wasp would be the single ones, wouldn't they? That lay the small
Yes, they're
in
much
sheds and
they're-
stuff. aren't they?
That's right,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
right, yes.
Now, what damage are they doing? Let's tell us so people know.
The Asian hornets, their main problem is they have no natural predators in this country.
Yeah.
The only predator they have is the honey buzzard, which we don't have here as yet, sadly. And so they completely decimate our natural honeybees
Yes.
because that's their main source of food.
Yeah.
And so they decimate the hives, so the bees die. The actual pollination, obviously, around the area is completely decimated because you haven't got the bees to do it because the Asian hornets
Yeah,
have eaten
yeah.
them. And of course, from a financial point of view, the honey crop is completely decimated as well.
Do they attack the actual, like you got the bee hive here, traditional one, will they attack that, or do they attack
What
the bees
they'll-
individually?
What they do is the bees are inside the hive. As the returning foragers come back, the Asian hornets are hawking here, and they
Oh, really?
literally take the bee and then they will take it up into a tree,
Yes.
you can see here,
Yeah.
and they will bite off the head, they will bite off the body and just leave the thorax, which is the main muscle, which is the bit that they then take back to their
I see.
brood
Yeah.
and eat.
So they're pretty efficient predators, really. when
They're
you think
very
about-
efficient. But
Yeah, too
sadly,
efficient.
They're too efficient because we haven't learnt to live with them here yet.
So that picture, the scale there, I can see that the European hornet is
Yes.
much larger.
Yes.
So they're smaller, thinner, yellow legs.
And yes, predominantly they're a very attractive insect.
Yes, yeah.
You know, they're black. I always think of them, they're a little bit like a Ferrari. They're sleek.
Yeah, they're sleek,
uh,
aren't they? Yes,
Very
yeah,
sleek,
yeah.
yeah. But they are
There's a
killers.
skeleton coming here.
And then how do they treat those? They got it up the tree, they've located there's a nest of the Asian hornet.
The main
What's the procedure?
beginning of the year, the queens have hibernated just like a wasp.
Yes.
So you'll find a tiny little nest being started in your shed or
Yeah,
in your
yeah.
garage.
Yeah.
You know, it's exactly
Yeah.
the same place you'd find a wasp.
Yes.
And the queen will then lay 2 or 3 eggs and she will feed those. The nest, she will make a wee bit bigger.
Yes.
She'll lay a few more eggs. until it gets to the point when there are enough workers that emerge that they then take over the job of building the nest and feeding the young.
Oh, I see, yes, yeah.
Queen, meanwhile, keeps laying.
So she just concentrates on laying eggs then more?
And then later in the year, because this nest area has got to, they need more space.
Yes, yeah.
So they then go and build their main nest, which can be way up the top of the tree. So the problem,
Yeah.
if you imagine up at the top of that.
Oh, really? That far? That far?
Oh, the one they took down recently was 90 feet
Good
up the
God.
tree.
Now, let me ask you.
And-
My son's got to be at Woodland. We were driving back up by Odium, and I said to the wife, "What is that? A fire?" And it was over the top of trees, at least as high as that, right by Odium Airfield. And there were 3 within half a mile, massive swarms,
Oh,
all
okay.
swarming.
Wow.
So would they have been? Well, I don't know. You probably don't know, obviously, but. Do they swarm like that, or
No.
is this the traditional time for the bees to swarm? They were massive clouds. We stopped the car on the road and we could see them
And
up
when
there.
was this?
4 days ago. 4 days ago.
Wow.
But there were 3 separate trees. You know, I do a bit of outdoor
Yes,
stuff. I'm not stupid.
yeah.
But it was like smoke, and I've seen swarms before.
Yes, yeah.
But this was, I can't tell you, immense, like the murmuring of the starlings.
Sure.
And I told my son he
Wow.
does Woodland, and said, "Is starlings dead?" I said, "No, 'cause I'm old. I'm not that old,
Sure.
you know." But we
Yeah.
stopped, and your mum was with me,
Wow.
and we watched them, you know, swirling
Yes.
all around the top
Yeah.
of the trees.
It should be too late for the bees to swarm now.
Yeah,
Should.
yeah,
But as in all things, because we've had such dreadful weather,
yeah, yeah.
and
They're all out of sync.
everything's upside down. Exactly.
We wondered why within 400 yards there were 3 trees with 3
It just
different
makes you
swarms
wonder.
on them.
There's obviously nests
Yes,
in those trees, so they could be feral bees, honeybees.
Yes.
They could be Asian hornets.
yeah,
Unlikely.
yes, yes.
In this area, and they could be European hornets, but to swarm now is
Yeah.
very unusual.
Oh, really?
So,
yeah, this was a few days ago, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what a shame. It's like all things.
I know,
You've never
I-
got your camera at the time, have you?
Well, I've got my cameras with me now.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
I was really annoyed because I
Yes.
could have zoomed in, and there would have
Absolutely,
been
that
for
would
us
have
doing
been
this sort of thing.
really fascinating.
Really good. I've never
Yes.
seen 2 swarms in my lifetime. I've
Yeah.
never seen one as big as this. It was
Wow.
immense. Yeah.
Yes.
It was like smoke. We thought it was smoke. I
Yes.
said, who's burning? You know,
Yes.
it wasn't. So impressive.
Oh, I'd be interested in seeing.
So are you going to open those later today?
There's definitely nothing in there.
Oh, there is nothing in there.
We're
Yeah.
bringing our bees. They should. Be
Oh,
coming
you
back
bring
any
them in.
minute.
So are they okay to sort of transport around like
Well,
that?
they are in an observation.
A sealed
hive.
run.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
I'll
got
come
air
back.
holes. But please do. Yeah.
What time do they come through?
They'll be here in probably half an hour.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah,
Thank you very
yeah,
much. Listen, I
and,
appreciate your help very much. Thank
My
you. As I
pleasure.
say, if you don't put this information out there, people, because it only takes one man or woman to go out walking and go, "Oh,
Or
I heard about
child.
that on that fishing show."
Exactly.
Yeah, I thought you might be interested in something like that. Bit different. Nice little interview. Now over for another interview. This time on some wicker and basket work, which I didn't really I've seen it, but I didn't know how complicated it gets. Well, something that you can almost do yourself because there are classes. Very relaxing and therapeutic, I am told. Can you ladies tell us, like you're saying it's willow, that you started with the hazel, but the willow, so what exactly are you making?
this
Are
is
these
something-
dream catchers?
These are dream catchers.
Oh, they are.
The children are having some workshops this morning.
Yeah.
So we'll do dream catchers, but most of the time I'm doing things for adults. So
Like the baskets, and he was.
yeah, so the basket making workshops, and we've got lots of Christmas making workshops. We do our Swedish stars, we do mini water hurdles. I do lots of sculptures as well.
Yes,
So
yeah.
if you look around the front of the stand, you'll see some geese.
I'll film
and
some of those, yeah,
swans.
yeah.
Not swans, what am I saying? Haven't got a swan yet. We've got maybe I should make one. We've got some pheasants, that's what I meant to say, and a lovely big deer as well, big stag.
Go tell us about the willow, the actual.
The willow.
You
So the willow,
when you cut it, when you use it, do you dry it? Do you steam it? What
yeah,
happens?
no,
to it?
that's some good questions actually. So there's 3 stages of willow, okay? You have green willow, semi-green willow and brown. So green willow is willow that's been freshly cut.
Yeah, and that would be
that can be
cut today and used within couple of months or something, or does it start drying out
so
already?
We usually start cutting willow around December. I cut most of the willow that we grow on the Berkeley estate in Bramley. I cut it around February time.
Oh, so it's a winter though. It's a winter job to stockpile.
It's a winter job, yeah. So I cut the willow. I mean, some of the larger willow growers will cut even earlier, and because they have such a large quantity of it, and they'll keep cutting through to around March. You know. So the willow, we can do living willow projects with that living willow. Then it becomes semi-green. It's still flexible.
Yes.
And there's a certain point when something's semi-green, a willow semi-green, that you can start using it for basket making.
Yeah.
But predominantly, most of our basket making is made using brown willow, which is willow that's been completely dried out. And
is it not hard to bend though? You run the risk of it cracking?
We have to rehydrate it.
Oh, you do?
So what we do, so I've got a couple of big cow troughs in the garden, and I take a bushel of willow, soak it in the water, completely immerse the willow, and put some weights on top. And then I leave it there, and I soak it for approximately 24 hours per foot. But that said, it depends on the willow and the time of year and how cold it is and the water temperature. There's lots of other variants. Some willow can be twice as long to soak.
So you could cut it into, you could cut a whack load of it in December. One assumes tie it up straight, store it, and then you can work on that as and when, really. By you know, it's a
very sustainable material, and that's why it's a key reason why we use it. And
one assumes if you say these guys cut it en masse from December to March, the reason they're doing that is for clearance. You know, they want to get rid of it anyway, so it benefits both parties.
Well, it's also to do.
They're being cleared, and you can get to use their leftovers almost, really.
Well, it's
or do they cut for willow people? That's what I'm getting at.
So basically, so I buy a lot of my cultivated willow from the Somerset Plains. And that willow is grown on lots and lots of fields. It's perfect environment down there. The ground's very wet. They cut the willow from the ground. And it leaves a stalk, as you do with hazel. And so we're coppicing it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So then the growth will continue, and that will be next year's crop. So then and there's basket makers around the country, people making hurdles from willow as well, people like me that use it in sculptures, and like Jane here that makes baskets. We have very different reasons for using the willow. I run lots of workshops and have the general public using our willow to make things. You might have seen there's willow coffins. I mean, it's lovely. It's a traditional heritage skill that people are really embracing again now.
And relaxing to do as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a very mindful activity, and it's really nice to be working with such a lovely material. You know, when it is dry, it is just a twig. It snaps.
It will break.
But as soon as you've rehydrated it, you can work with it for quite a while, you know.
I can see some of the bends you've got in this here.
I mean, it's you know, really close weaving.
How long would you take to make some of these baskets? Just out of interest, you know what I mean?
So this took me a day, but I run a workshop, a 2-day workshop for this one, and this one took me 3 days. I don't run a workshop for that one, it's a bit too much.
That's a personal thing, that one, isn't it?
And then this is a day workshop. Also the mats as well. Sorry, the trays. That's the day as well. So the hardest bit is learning how to do the base of the basket.
Well, thanks for watching these different segments. Do you know, I don't think there's anybody else that's put in these random sections that I dig up on my travels around onto different fishing films. I just think, well, a bit of fishing, okay, whatever, now let's have something a bit different. It just keeps us all entertained. I feel, look, don't get me wrong, I'm spoiled because I like doing it. So you're sort of trapped, aren't you? You can click off or you can watch it. I said click off, or you can watch it. Hopefully you do. Let us know in the comments page if you like this random stuff. I've got quite a lot more to go up as well. We'll see you in the next film. Hopefully fishing and some more random topics of which you won't know what it is, and half the time I don't know what it's going to be either till I dig out the old master clips. Don't forget, hop over to Mike's TA Outdoors and his other, he's got a second channel, Life of Mike. I think he's got one going up there where we had to do a bit of work in my garden, had a great laugh and a bit of fun, father and son time. We will see you in the next one. It's only 7 days away.